It's Polly Farmer here. For those that have listened to the Blackboard Collaborate today on Wednesday the 28th of November, you may have noticed that we experienced some internet issues and it wasn't easy for me, or I couldn't actually share my screen to be able to show you how to navigate Blackboard and where to find those important pieces of information that many of you were asking about. So I decided to create hopefully a very quick video just to step you through what Blackboard might look like, especially for those that this is your first unit that you've engaged in for a while. And also for those that have used Blackboard before will be very aware that this unit does sit a little bit differently in terms of how it's organised. So for most of you, you should hopefully be able to open up this screen when you log into EDC171. There were just a few things that I wanted to point out and to remind you that information can be found. So for many, we were just curious about who their tutor was, what their email was, and how to contact them. So if you click on what it says here, your unit tutor, coordinator and tutors, it should open up a new page. My internet is still very slow, but it will open up a new page where you'll be able to see a photograph of your tutor. You'll also be able to find a little bit of information about them, their email address, and what are their best contact hours. So for myself, I do have 3 young children and I do also work in a school, so my availability is not so great. As I've said here before, I'll endeavour to answer your questions within 24 hours, but over the weekend it may not be as frequent. And there's my email address, and there are all your other lovely tutors and their contact details. So do make sure that you know who your tutor is and where to locate that information so that you can touch base with them. Some other things that I wanted to point out was there is a program calendar here. This is very similar to the calendar that's at the very back of your unit outline, but it might be a nice visual representation or visual reminder of where you are on this inquiry journey and when your assessments are due so that you can plan that out. Assessments, I guess, is a really big one, and we will go back to that in a minute. But I also wanted to remind you, if you are able to join one of our Collaborate sessions, then the link here is Collaborate Ultra. But for those that 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning Western Standard Time doesn't work for you, and I appreciate that's probably for many of you, you can go back in and listen to the recordings. So you can see that today's session has finished, but if you want to go back in and listen to that session, you need to click on these 3 lines up here, which is the menu, and click on recordings. And you can see that today's recording is already available, and all you need to do is click on the 3 little dots in the circle at the end here, and you can say watch now, or you can download and listen to it offline as well. So there's options for you, and you'll find that each week the new topic will come up. So it's really nice and easy for you to navigate and to be able to find those recordings, and they just play like you would watch a video on your computer, so you can listen back to those recordings. If you're obviously available to join the session, then you need to wait until that session is available. So it's open 15 minutes prior to the time, so 9:45, and it will have the session date there, and you just click join session. Okay. Other important information, because I'm in the staff forum here, you won't be able to see, it won't look the same, but you will have your tutorial group listed on the side, so it will have a number. So if you're in my group, it will say 1 Polly Farmer, and you know that you're in my tutorial group, or you may be in John's group, or I'm just trying to think who else is in here, or Katie's group, or Jasmine's group. So it will tell you there which group you're in, and you do need to click on that to be able to add to your discussion board. So if you go in, I have access to everybody's, but if you click on that, it will give you access to your particular group. I'm sorry that it's taking so long to load. So clicking on my group here, for example, again, this may look slightly different because I'm coming in from the staff perspective, but essentially it will be the same in terms of how you can ask any questions on the discussion board. Most of the tutors have a very similar framework in terms of how their discussion board is laid out. Might aesthetically look a little bit different, but essentially all the information that you need will be included in here for you. So group discussion board. Internet is extremely slow, and you can see that this is where you can start to post some questions and queries. I'd really love you to post an introduction and a welcome. So as I said, it's lovely to have you here. It's a really good opportunity for you to just reach out and make some friends, and maybe find a peer that is in a same state as you, or same suburb, for example, or also has 5 children, for example. Always make sure that you're checking the announcements from the unit coordinator, so I'll post any information in here that is important. And also there's some really great forums here for you to ask any questions about your assessment. So I can see that some students have already done that. So if you ask a question, give me 24 hours and then go back in and have a read through my response. Each week you're asked to do a task or more, and this is where you need to post under the appropriate week. So I can see that 8 people have already done this week's tasks, which is great. So you just click on week 1 learning style, and you would click on create a thread at the top here, and you'd write week 1 or week 1 tasks, as I can see people have done. Now, how do you know what those weekly tasks are? So let's go and have a look at the actual content. So underneath tutorial groups, you'll see that we've got 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 9. First week being you as a learner. So you need to click on that, and that will open up all the information that you need for week 1. There is a whale shark at the top of every page. The reason for that is it's a nice hyperlink straight to our accompanying website. So as you will have seen from the unit outline, there's no book for this particular unit. There is an accompanying website which has the same titles for each week, and it has some additional information in there. So this week we're looking at you as a learner. This is the workshop. There's lots of hyperlinks for you to click on, information for you to read through, things to download. So just be mindful that each week you do click on the whale shark, it will take you to this website, and you just need to select the correct title in terms of what we're doing, and that will give you the information. So this week you are asked to reflect on your personal learning style or your personal learning preferences, and there's some different tests that you can do that will give you some information about your particular learning style, and you're just asked to share within a couple of sentences on the discussion board where we were just looking what your learning style is. Just whilst I'm on here, just to flag with you the power of collaboration. I know that there was a couple of students that asked if they can do their assessment together. Unfortunately, as you'll see here, it says, please note this is not feasible in OUA and other online situations. So all of your assessments have to be individual. That's not to say that you can't obviously find a critical friend that you can bounce your ideas off or get them to help you with your editing and referencing, but it does need to be an individual submission, and Turnitin does detect collusion. So if you do write things that are very similar, it will pick it up. So just to be mindful of that. So as I say, lots of information, lots of hyperlinks in here. If you're interested in finding a little bit more about the unit and where it sits within your whole degree, or in terms of where it sits within the curriculum, I do encourage you to go and have a look at home and before you start. There's some really good information in there about how this unit was conceived and what the ideas and onus behind the whole assessment is. So back to our Blackboard site, you'll see, even though you can't see it here, that I create a Voci for each week. So if you're not sure what that is, click on the play button and you'll hear my voice again. And it's just a really nice way to give you an overview of the week and where we're at in terms of our inquiry journey and some things to be mindful of. The script is on the side here. I may add a little bit more information on the script, but essentially all the information that you need is in that little video. Then if you scroll further down, you'll see your learning this week. You don't need to tell anybody what you've learnt this. You don't need to share any of this stuff. It's just to help guide in terms of your learning and what you're going to be doing. And then you'll find your tasks for this week. And this is the things that you need to pay attention to. These are the things that you need to share. Now, your weekly discussion board tasks are not compulsory, but are very, very, very strongly encouraged in that they are going to assist you with writing your assessments and assist you with your understanding of the unit as a whole. And that will obviously come through in your assessments and your ability to complete those to your best ability. So do make sure that you engage in these tasks. So there's a bit more information. We've already talked about that. Post 2 things about your learning style in 2 sentences on your tutorial group discussion board page. And the second task this week is to create a podcast. So we're asking you to use a Web2 tool such as Vocaroo to be able to tell us what sustainability means to you. This can be a very brief podcast, but it's just an opportunity for you to play around with some new online tools and to create a podcast. I certainly hadn't done one of those before I'd done this unit, and to be able to listen to each other's voices and to hear what other people's thoughts on sustainability are. So once you've done that, great. Upload that into your tutorial group discussion board page, as we've seen some people have done before. And then next week, pardon me, move on to unpacking inquiry. Going back to your assessments, so click on the assessments page on the left here. It provides you with a table, so an overview of when your assessments are due and how much they're worth. There's some information on each one of these. So if you click on assignment 1, it will take you through to all the information you need about assignment 1. In here, there's a suggested layout. There's also the rubric, so what your tutors will be marking towards. The word limit. So someone did mention this in the Blackboard Collaborate, and I didn't comment any further, so sorry. Part C is a maximum of 1,000 words, so we're not going to dabble with the 10% plus or minus, which some other units do. It's just 1,000 words maximum. So lots of information for you here. what you need to do, so broken down into individual parts, just some reminders in blue for you as well. Here is another discussion board forum where you can go in and ask any questions that you may have about the assessment. Just be mindful it can't be about your topic. So sorry, you can click on create thread to add a question. So it might be, I don't understand how to create a VOCI, I don't know where to submit my assignment, can I use double spacing? Those sorts of more mechanical, technical questions can go here. There's some more information about how to share your VOCI. And then this is where you actually have to submit your assignment. Right at the bottom it says please submit your assignment on here. You click on view and complete, and that's where you have to submit your assignment on the due date, which is Friday the 21st of December. I think that was all that I wanted to show you very briefly. Any other questions or queries, please make sure that you engage in conversation with your tutor, so using your tutorial page, your tutorial groups page. Know their email address so you can contact them, and do click on everything. You can't break anything within Blackboard, so if it's something that's quite new to you, click on everything just to be able to help you find the information, and I can guarantee within a couple of weeks you won't have any issues, and you'll be really confident in being able to post threads and answer questions, and to be able to post your weekly discussion tasks. So I'll leave it at that. Again, thank you very much to everyone that was online today listening to the session live, and thank you to those that have taken the time back to listen to the session. I look forward to chatting with you next week, in which we'll delve a little bit more into what inquiry actually is, and have a lot more in-depth look at assignment 1. All right, have a lovely week, and I'll chat to you